Welcome to this high school sports showcase event on Harvard TV. I am Ray Ruse, and I am here with my broadcast partner, Pat Ruse. Here at Aberdeen High School for a late season football matchup from the host Aberdeen Eagles and the visiting Patterson Mill Huskies. Aberdeen comes in at 2-6, and they are coached by Kelvin Harris, and he is assisted by Stephen Blackwell, Kamari Bracey, and Philip Cooper. He is in his second year as head coach. The Huskies are coached by David Urick, and he is a second-year coach also, but he's also coached 9 years at Bel Air High School. He is assisted by his father, Pete Urick, also Martell Betters, Don Myers, Daniel Weber, Robert Solis, and Bob Chubb. And before I go into any more information, again, I'd like to welcome Pat to the broadcast.
Happy to be here, Ray. It's a great night for football, great weather. It's senior night here for Aberdeen, and we're at a beautiful high school football stadium, getting ready for kickoff.
So we just had, before we came on, to Pat's point, the introduction of the seniors, and that's always nice to see. And before anybody notices, yes, Pat and I both have the same last name. He is my cousin, and he was kind enough to come here and do this game with me. But I did not pick Pat as my color commentator because of that. It's more because he is a football expert. He played high school and college football, and he also coached high school and college football for many years. So this must bring back some good memories, Pat.
It does, Ray. It makes me tired, though, when I come out here and I see all this activity. But I still have it in my blood, so thanks for having me.
Yes. Well, I'm assuming, I forget, I think you played defensive line, and I'm going to be doing a lot of giving the accolades because you and I talk a lot of pro football and stuff, rooting for our teams. I think the games are won in the trenches a lot, as they say it, and people don't give the defensive and offensive line enough credit.
Well, you better bet. I mean, you can have some of the best players around the line, but if you don't have that strong, athletic, mobile offensive line and that defensive line that can get after the ball carriers, you're in for a tough season.
Yeah, we know that way too well with being fans of teams, and you see linemen go down, and linemen are in really vulnerable positions. I mean, yes, other people are tackling and being tackled. More of the lineman injuries are people falling on them the wrong way, from behind and so forth, and just being in those scrums. Now, another one of my favorite positions is the linebackers. Talk about unheralded. They're all the ones coming in there and doing that dirty work, cleaning up the tackles and so forth.
Well, you know, defensive linemen are linebackers' best friends, right? And as a defensive lineman, you like to do your job so that those linebackers can fill and stop the other team or even get the ball back.
Yes. So let's see who we have here kicking off for Aberdeen. It looks like number 5. So let's see what kind of kick we can get here and who we have for number 5. Ace Holmes. Yeah. Ace is going to be on the field for other reasons too. I'm always curious to see the leg that they have, or are they squibbing it. Hits it to the 13-yard line. We got a return here. Okay. So I have on the run back there. That would be, let me get the number here, number 11 for Patterson Mill, and that is Samir Manning. Took advantage of that short kick, Pat.
Yeah, and he ran it right up the middle, got a decent chunk of yards, so puts him in good field position to start.
So we have an interesting situation here, folks. Our two main people in the backfield, Chris Hufty is our quarterback, and I think he's a sophomore, and we also have maybe a sophomore running back in Ace Holmes. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong offense here. What I'm going to say here is it's Bryson Hunter is a freshman quarterback. That's amazing. R.J. Wilhelm is a name we're going to hear a lot today, folks. He was on the run. See what he gets out of that. Was a pretty good push there from the offensive line.
You bet. Ray, the D-backs are coming up and cleaning up, but the offensive line is getting a good push right now.
So I'm going to get the number here on R.J. Wilhelm. I think it's 20. Let me see. Is he 28? No, he's 40. So that's an unusual number for a running back to me. seems like the numbers are a little bit lower. Oh, he pushed the pile and some.
Right, with three backs in the backfield, a very traditional T backfield look with 3 backs. Aberdeen's bringing 8 in the box.
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that's Patterson Mill's bread and butter is R.G. Wilhelm. He came into the game 47 yards. We have a first turnover? Yes, we do.
Ball is loose. All right.
So it looked like number 51 for Aberdeen might have came up with that one.
Xavier Whittington
Yeah.
with the recovery.
Now I'm wondering if that was a punch out or a exchange problem. We've even seen that at the pro level where putting that ball from the quarterback to the running back's stomach sometimes is more difficult than you think because they have a reaction situation where the quarterback can pull it out and run with it. So that was a fortunate moment there for Aberdeen to get the ball at the 47-yard line. And they do have Chris Hufty at quarterback. Oh, that was stacked up quick, Pat.
Wow. Number 34
and
comes
70.
up.
Yeah.
Shevchek comes up with the big hit for what looks like about a 1-yard loss. And Ray, I know they're running a 3-4 look as their base look, according to coach.
Mm-hmm.
They bring those outside linebackers up. They're going to be bringing pressure, it looks like.
So I'm going to be calling the offense, folks, as much as I can, and Pat's going to be calling the defense. Looks like you got a jump there, Pat.
Looks like they're going to be moving Aberdeen back a little
Yeah.
bit.
So as a defensive lineman, you're taught when you see somebody jump, run across the line and touch your player so that they call the false start, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Well,
But then
I stand corrected.
it's going the other way.
It's going the other way. You know, defensive linemen are taught also, you don't listen to the cadence. You move on the movement of the ball.
Right, right.
You can get thrown off and easily tricked.
So that brings up 2nd and 5, so they can do this in 2 plays. We always talk about when does it become 4-down territory. It depends on your confidence level in your offense, I would imagine. Oh, handoff. Nope. Wow, that was what I talked about before. So we did have our quarterback keep the ball, Chris Hufty, but that was read so well by the defense.
Yeah, James Dargan, Adam Shevchek again in the backfield.
Mm-hmm. So now I'm wondering at what point we're going to see the first pass attempt. Both teams have run every down so far. And then we'll see if they don't get this first down, if it's 4th and short, will they go for it? Dropping back the pass. Oops.
Very well defended.
Yes. Yeah, the player kind of hit his own teammate there. That was number 11 on Patterson Mill's defense.
All right, defended by Samir Manning.
Yeah, he almost had a chance to pick that. I think there was almost too many Patterson Mill defenders in the area. So let's see what we got here for our punter, Pat. He can pin him inside the 20, hopefully, is what his hope is. Okay, good snap. A little short punt, but they can hopefully get a bounce, and they do. And that's a tough ball to pick up for the returner, Pat, because you have 3 people in your face there. So
Oh, yeah.
all the way down the 9-yard line.
Well, and Samir again did a nice job, Samir Manning, of knowing that if it's not playable, get away from it.
Yes, yes.
Just get away from the ball. Don't risk it.
Well, when you got a running back like R.J. Wilhelm, too, you have the confidence that you feel like you can grind out a long drive here if you need to. So R.J.'s father, Rich, is a friend of mine and a PE teacher in the county, and we've worked knowing each other for years, and he's the girls' varsity basketball coach at Patterson Mill, and R.J.'s sister, Kylie, is a star basketball player as well, talented family. Okay, we have a drop back. Fake, and there's a handoff, and you know what? That is a pushing of the pile there if I could see anything. Jeez.
And I'll tell you, Ray, it took 3 or 4 Aberdeen defenders to bring them down in that pile. But nothing fancy there. They're just grinding it out.
RJ's obviously very strong, but they're good at, it looks like they're pulling linemen when they do some of these runs. Oh, he's broke out there. Definitely got the first down. RJ on another carry, got the first down.
Looked like Goff and Manning helping with that tackle.
So I'm waiting to see at what point, Pat, that they'll have the quarterback keep the ball because they're keying so much on RJ. He gets another solid 7-8 yards. As I said, he came into the game with over 950 yards. So if things go to plan, he should break 1,000 yards for the day. Oh, he's out there. Good stop. That was the first pitch that I seen. Most of them were handoffs. That was a little bit of a pitch there, Pat.
Yeah, and again, you know, tackles downfield by the defensive backs.
Well, he's one move from breaking one with his power, and then we'll see what his speed is like when he gets in the open field. They've already brought the ball out from the 9-yard line.
Running it outside.
So now we did see that they do have other running backs with some yardage, Pat. So I would imagine at some point they're going to have to share the load a little bit, or RJ is going to have 80 carries by the end of the game.
You bet. And RJ is nearing that 1,000-yard mark for
Yes,
the
he
season.
is. Yes.
So I'm sure, and you can tell by the way Aberdeen's playing it, that they're trying to stop the run here.
There it is.
There it is. He's
Breakout.
right.
Wow.
And possibly a saving tackle there. That's
I think number 4.
number 4.
Calvin Junick. So they're just churning up first downs, Pat, just like they did the first drive before they had the turnover. But we both know turnovers can be an equalizer in this sport.
That's right.
Good shot of the huddle there. Coach Urich talking to the team. Now, I don't know. I'm assuming Aberdeen called that timeout, but I didn't see. Because I don't know why Patterson Mill would have called a timeout there other than maybe giving RJ a rest.
He sure could use it.
If I ran the ball 10 times in a row like that, I'd be on a stretcher, Pat, so that's a different story. But I get tired going from my couch to the refrigerator.
Man, I would have stopped chasing you before that.
So while we're talking here in this break, I'm going to say some names here. The left tackle is supposed to be Sanel Besaravis, Jacob Holster, Luke Teal, Jack Ballant, and Dylan Myers. And this offensive line is doing a great job. As soon as I say that, we have some kind of a foul called. I jinxed you, Patterson Mill, sorry. Let's see if it's on the offense or the defense.
Patterson Mills had the ball, at least, on the other side of the 50 at about the 44. And it looks like it's against Aberdeen.
Yeah, I did see a Patterson Mill player pointing the other way, but players always point the other way when the whistle happens. I love when it's funny when both teams are going, they did it.
That's
No,
right.
they did it.
Not me.
So now they have a 1st and 5. So this opens it up. Quick hitter on the handoff there, but they stacked that
Nice
up good.
job by, nice job by a plethora of Aberdeen defenders.
I saw 51 and 58, maybe 25 in there. They had that prepared for them.
Same formation, 3 backs in the backfield. Looked like the same play, giving it to RJ. He got a couple, but I'll tell you, Aberdeen's playing it tough this
They're
last
making it
couple
work
downs.
for those 5 yards. That's for sure. They're prepared. They look like these last 2 plays are prepared for that quick hitter, so you wonder if Aberdeen will try to go to the outside run at some point.
Or some sort of misdirection.
Yes.
Oh, no. Another penalty flag on the play. It looks, Ray, preliminarily like Aberdeen jumped again.
Yeah. Well, Pat, how would you best describe the hard count that a quarterback does on short down sometimes? They just change their volume of their voice and their cadence to try to get them to jump?
Sure. I mean, they're going to get louder. They might use different words. They might pause longer, you know, and the defender thinks they have a rhythm. Same three-back backfield. Same play they were running earlier to the right, but now to the left.
Yeah, he got a good chunk on that one, that's for sure. He looks like he got 8-10 yards again.
And it looks like the tackle there was Aaron Dixon, linebacker.
So the officials stopping the play. I think they didn't like the spot of the ball. But let's see what he's doing here. And while I say that, our officials are Charles White, Elton Battle, Gerald Wicks, William Conley, and Michael Dykes. Looks like very short yardage. It's 1st and 10 on the scoreboard, but we have a new running back here, number 28.
Aberdeen brought an 8 in the box again. This time a little speedier back in number 28.
So I'm looking for number 28 on our roster here.
They took it out around the right edge of the tackle with a leading offensive lineman. Same play back to RJ Ray. Pulling that guard, it looks like.
Looks like he got in. Wilhelm for a 6-yard touchdown, and we will try to see if we can get the name of number 28, because that was a good run to set up that touchdown. Now let's see what they have here, Pat. So let's see this touchdown here. We got a basic handoff to the right, quick pass again. Nobody was there to stop that one, Pat.
Right guard pulled. He led the way. Number 55, Sanel Bekarovic.
So the extra point's good. So now we have a 7-0 game, 5:26 to go in the first quarter. I'm trying to say things here, Pat. I don't think we saw one pass attempt that was almost intercepted, fell incomplete, and everything else has been a run. So let's see how Aberdeen responds now.
Well, on both sides of the ball, Ray, we got young quarterbacks, and they both look very athletic. Obviously being groomed by their coaches and their programs. And both teams also have some athletes in the backfield.
So short kick, and he gets it. That could have been very important there, Pat.
That looked like an intentional onside. He definitely at least squibbed that. It went about 20, 25 yards.
It was number 14 picked that up.
Eddie Saunders.
Yeah.
Grabbed it, good hands, did the right thing, covered it up.
So let's see what we have with the Aberdeen offense here. Be interesting to see if the quarterback gets some runs. And like we said, Ace Holmes has just been pulled up recently from the JV. Played one game, and they're going to see what he can do. Well, they got a lot of people in the backfield in that one, Pat. There's really nowhere to go.
Nowhere to go is right. Looked like Dow Carlton was in on the tackle. Defensive lineman.
Well, I'll say, is that number 70 or is number 70 somewhere else? Because number 70. Yeah, he's clogging up everything in there.
Yeah.
He's a strong-looking young man, but he really has some, not only power, but he sheds blockers very well.
Yeah, he moved well. Moves well.
So looks like he might be playing like the proverbial nose tackle position right there in the middle. Stacked up again.
Now a slew of tacklers.
Yeah.
Slew of tacklers.
Nowhere for Ace to go on that one.
James Dargan looked like he led the pack there.
They do have a young team here for Aberdeen. I have down here, Pat, they have 11 sophomores and 1 freshman on the team. That's a lot of young players.
And they're building, Ray. I mean, in talking to their coach before the game, they're still very positive, very optimistic about the future. And
Yes.
And tonight.
Yeah, he said it was a good group to work with. And you love that as a coach. There's a long ball. Now I'm going to see how this came out. Did he hold on to it?
No, he held on to that.
Number 5.
Number 5, Aiden Myers with the interception. Giving him the ball on their 28.
So let's watch this. I thought for a last second there that the receiver was going to steal it back. He was ready. And he brought that in, pulled it to his chest, fought it to him, away from the receiver.
Well done.
Now, I will say this. We talked about this before, Pat. Aberdeen lost 3 games by a combined 6 points. They lost a 1 point, 2 point, 3 point game this year. And, you know, you get that little difference and you're got a winning record. Oh, he might break this one if he gets outside that.
Whoa, tripped up. Tripped up after a substantial gain.
Yeah, RJ on a 12-yard run there. And he got past the first level, Pat, but you're right. That young man doesn't trip him up. He might cut to the outside and be gone.
I think that might have been Darby. Was it Darby, Ray?
Here's what I'm thinking might have happened here, guys. I might be wrong, but I think that he might have just got over 1,000 yards, and that might be why they called the timeout.
Well, he came in needing, what, less than 50? Or
yeah. Everybody came to the huddle for like a quick second on the sideline. So I almost feel like that might have been the moment that he got over 1,000 yards.
All right, didn't look like anything
Might have just been a little
extraordinary happened.
Yeah. Well, sometimes the coach would just give a little pat on the back, like, hey, guys, RJ just got his 1,000th yard. It would have only taken me about 9 seasons to get 1,000 yards, Pat, instead of 1. But, you know, I don't know if I walked 1,000 yards today.
Well, we parked as close as we could.
Yes, we did.
So.
So we've got 3:36 to go in the first quarter here, and Aberdeen needs to get a stop because they don't want this, game to get to a 2-score game this quick. But let's see what we have here.
Nice job by the center of that defense.
Well, you see what happened there is RJ faked to the left for a handoff to go out to wide, but credit Aberdeen's defense. Nobody bid on the fake.
Keyshawn Hunter, nice play. Interior down lineman. Really staying stout.
So new running back here on this play. So that looked like that was Darnberger, Jaden Darnberger, number 25.
I think Ace Holmes came up to help on that tackle.
It's a big play here. It's 3rd and 3. He's going to get this and then some. RJ down the sideline. All the way down to the 15-yard line.
Saving tackle by Daniel Darby, pushing him out of bounds.
So I will say, if he hadn't gotten 1,000 yards by
he
now,
did now.
He has it now.
Let me tell you, Ray, there were some great blocks up front. There was a pulling lineman. And not only that, I saw some really nice blocks downfield. Well done all around.
Well, that answered my question. RJ's not just strong, but he's fast. He just went off the field. Another player coming on for him.
He cuts well, Ray. He hits holes. He seems to understand the game.
Hand off to number 5. Breaking around the edge. Got a good 5-6 yards on that.
Again, several Aberdeen defenders on the tackle. But a solid pickup of 6.
So I heard the last name Myers by the announcer here. See if that was Aiden Myers or not. It's a wide sweeping run. Almost got in.
Tackled by several Aberdeen players.
So he got all the way around end there, all the way to the 1 yard line. And that is
Holmes and Furr in on the tackle.
Samir Manning there, Pat, and he's a transfer from John Carroll. So I know they're glad to have him back here. Giving RJ a little rest.
Nice hit in the backfield by Aberdeen.
Wow.
Number 51 making the stop, Xavier Whittington. And let me tell you, Ray, he's a freshman. Wow. That young man can move. He's got size. He seems to have strength.
Yeah,
and that was a name I remember Coach talking about before.
Yeah, he stacked up Jaden Darnberger, and Jaden had no fault in that play. That young man just read the play and met him right there behind the line of scrimmage. So he gives him another chance. They're not signaling he's in.
And a number of guys on the tackle was hard to see because we had a bruising looking lead block by the one who normally gets the ball, RJ Wilhelm.
Well, I'm gonna be a better is better. I'm gonna say RJ's back in the game, and I'm gonna predict that he gets the ball this down. 3rd and 2, and I'm gonna also say this is 4-down territory for Pattersonville. I bet you they'll go for it on 4th, unless you have a penalty.
Couldn't tell there on that snap what happened.
I think I heard him say too many players on the field, but I'm not sure. Not seeing anybody leave. They are sending one player off the field.
But I believe that's the quarterback. He might be just going to get the play.
He has gone on and off the field a few times. So they've actually had a couple plays where they either had another quarterback in. So let's see here.
There we go. See now, well, 2 for 2 exchange.
So we don't know what the call was there, folks, but it was a 5-yard penalty. So now it'll be 3rd and 7. And at least the scoreboard clock is running out, so I'm wondering if that's an error. Because the clock should have stopped on a penalty, shouldn't it have?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if they're going to take the ball down the other end or not. It is the end of the first quarter. So a little confused why they would keep the clock running.
Yeah, I didn't see the wind either, Ray. If it is a situation where the clock starts again, I can say I didn't see the official wind the clock yet.
So now we go to the other end here. That was a pretty quick quarter, Pat, because of so much running. Even though there was at least 2 or 3 timeouts called total there. So I want to see here if it's a 4-down territory, if they get like even half of these yards on 3rd down, will they go for it on 4th and 3, 3.5? We saw that their kicker made the extra point, so they can kick, but I'm almost going to predict that I could see them going for it on 4th and short. Because worst case scenario, you pin the other team all the way in their end.
Well, and I think their running game is such, Ray, that they do what they do and they do it well.
Yes.
And you know, they're so often, so frequently in that 3-back set, whether they're middle of the field or on the goal line. And they have some adjustments from that. Now, as soon as I say that, here we go with a shotgun 1-back.
Yes. And the quarterbacks kept keeping it. Good spin move. Oh, they got him they stopped him at the half-yard line or 1-yard line. And
several people on the tackle there, Ray. And what was really impressive was Keyshawn Hunter. You know, again, coming over from his D-line spot and helping with that, as well as Peyton Furr.
Well, that was Aiden Myers on the quarterback, so they have switched quarterbacks back and forth. Okay, Pat, I don't know who scored it, but let's see who they pick up off the pile last. It's not RJ, because he's helping people. Let's see if it was Ace.
Number 5. There's your quarterback.
Mm-hmm. So that's Aiden Myers, and he's been inserted. So when I told you that they did bring out Bryson Hunter a couple times, it was to put Aiden in. Must have to do with different packages. I almost want to say that was like the Philadelphia Eagles pushed the pile play there.
Well, and I'll tell you, they, again, with those multiple backs in the backfield, or even if they're kind of in as slots, everybody gets to touch the ball. Everybody gets the block, and so you can't predict who's getting it and what direction they're coming from. But I will say, on that touchdown, Aberdeen did a nice job, holding them up, stopping them. Unfortunately, they didn't have far to go to get that touchdown.
Well, kind of an interesting situation. Aiden Myers is the one that had the interception to get the ball back, and then he punches it in on a touchdown run. So impacting both sides of the field here. All we need him to do now is do something on special teams.
Here we go, Ray.
Oh, they're doing another onside kick. That is a real sign of confidence there, Pat. They feel like they can definitely stop the other team, and they want that ball back on offense immediately.
And, yeah, offensive guard Tristan Slagoski with the good hands.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, what do you change your special teams play there? Do you put the hands team out there now on every play? I mean, every kick?
It's a risk either way, but I'd be thinking about it. I'd be thinking about subbing at least some of my guys up front.
So I saw in a game that we called recently where the team was having a hard time establishing the run, and then they opened up the passing, and it really took off. Oh, didn't quite. Now, you got to fall on that ball in case they call it a lateral. That was a smart play by the Patterson defense. Ball was thrown a little bit low, but I would have liked to see the receiver come to that ball a little bit more and get it.
Yeah, and linebacker Sebastian Fryer, very heads-up play as a defender, When in doubt, go pick up the ball.
Well,
if it's a free ball, live ball, go after it till the whistle blows.
I've even seen people pick it up and run it into the end zone just in case.
That's right.
So they did show the willingness to pass there. I would have liked to see what happened because I think he had a one-on-one out there. Got a little bit of a break room there.
I will tell you that while he gained a few yards there.
Yeah, that was Ace Holmes getting a 4-yard run.
And Shevchek really put a hit, if not directly on the back, on the blocker, and it destroyed the play.
So they might have an injured, you have an injured player down here on the field, hoping for the best here, hoping it's a cramp and not a knee or ankle. We saw this in our first game we called this year. We had probably at least 8 to 10 times players down with cramps. And as Greg Commander was saying, hydrating doesn't happen an hour before the game. It happens the day and a half before the game. You have to make sure you drank the right amount of fluids, not pounding down sodas and teas.
That's right. And well, the good news is, Ray, that was Tristan Slagotsky again. Yeah, he just got the onside return or catch. And offensive lineman shaken up a bit, but walked off the field under his own power.
Yeah, it's good. That's definitely good. So let's see what they do here on 3rd and 6. The quarterback ready and running back deep back. Oh, we are throwing. Near pick.
Almost an interception. Is that Aiden Myers again?
I think it was.
Oh, it would have only been fitting, Ray.
So let's see if
they threw into, quite a few defenders, but you know what? At this point, it's as good as a punt. It was 3rd down. Anything can happen.
Well, I will tell you one thing. Even though that first play of this drive was passed low and dropped, I like that play. I'd like to see them do that again because the defensive backs were playing far off the receiver, and if they're going to lay back like that, okay, now let's see if they let that one bounce too. And it's rolling down to inside the 10. Very fortunate roll there. Looks like it's all the way to the 6 to 7 yard line. Have another player down in the middle of the field here.
Ray, it looked like the punter there was number 8, John Burns. Is that right?
It looked like it. So we do have down here, we'll have to see if he gets to do it later.
Or no, I'm sorry. That's not the right name. Isaac Williams.
Okay.
Tight end, linebacker, senior.
So we do have down here also that one of the key subs for Patterson Mill is Connor Pilton, and he sometimes plays punter, and he's a transfer from Australia. So he's come quite a way. Let's see if when we see a punt from Patterson Mill, I want to see if he does the Australian style. So they're kind of pinned in here, Pat. This is an important time here. See how patient we have Patterson Mill. Patterson Mill is the kind of offense that could do a 10-minute drive.
Yeah. Right, it looked like a few guys were in on that tackle, but Shevchuk was in there as well again. And I'll tell you, they really flowed well defensively.
Oh, he got through the first level there.
Oh, great tackle. Probably saved a big gain.
Like 58 there.
It's 58 again. And
yeah, he's
that's our senior Tariq Moore.
He got an ankle tackle there.
It was 2 or 3 yards, could have been much more.
Yes. First down again. R.J. Wilhelm on another carry.
Hayden Furr.
You see the blocker downfield in front of him?
Yeah.
He had a teammate that was just running people over for R.J. to follow.
Nice tackle.
Yes.
Well, number 15 assisted again. Furr. Number 7, Keslin Harris, made a nice hit. You could hear it up here.
So that was Jaden Derenberger again, and they're mixing him in more and more. Obviously, you can't, use Wilhelm on every play. He's extremely talented, but they do show some depth in their running backs. I mean, Will Green came in with 325 yards, Aiden Myers with 254, Samir Manning with 253, and Derenberger with 236. So that's a lot of running backs. Getting around the end here. Yeah, that was Manning on that one. Samir Manning looked like he got a good lead blocker there.
I'll tell you, Keslin Harris was there to help with that tackle, but that young man moves well from sideline to sideline, playing linebacker.
So, they're nearing the end of the season here, but this team could have 5 running backs over 400 yards by the end of the season. Nice cut back there. Just got wrapped up at number 4. I mean, that was a great run by number 5. And
Junick.
Yeah.
Hey, that tackle might have saved 6 points, Ray.
Aiden Myers really made a great cutback there at the last second. Yeah, that could have easily gone another 50 yards if it wasn't for that tackle.
That's a nice play.
He gets the first down, but a good job. RJ just got it, but good job by the tackler. So they're going to move the sticks here.
That's Tariq Moore again, senior defensive tackle. Very nice job. Good hands, good feet.
Okay, we got to run around the wide side here. Let's see if they, he ran 25 yards to get 3, but it was a good cutback because they could have had him for a loss there.
Right.
That was Samir Manning again, and he's listed as a wide receiver, but sometimes he lines up in the backfield.
Several yellow jerseys on that tackle, but it looked like DeRay Arnold led the pack, and he got up with a little bit of enthusiasm.
Well,
Job well done, Ray. That their defense, they run, they can move.
This is the big 6 minutes here for Aberdeen. They really don't want to go down by 3 scores. So they want to get a stop here soon and try to get one more chance to score. So we got an end around run here. Ooh, he's going to be so close to the first down.
The spot looks pretty good. Spot looks pretty good. You know, I talked about their movement, and Maurice Sadler, 34, coming from the other side. I thought he was going to run him down. So they definitely, there's no quit in this team, you know, and their pursuit to the ball is commendable. There's certainly a bright future for this team.
So the coach for Patterson Mill told me that they've already wrapped up the regular season championship, but if they can get this win, they'll, against Aberdeen tonight, they'll be able to be the #1 seed in regionals. And as a former coach, you know how important that is to get the #1 seed. Sometimes you can get a bye out of it, or opponent you want. So we have a penalty here, Pat, pushing them back a ways.
Yeah, it went back against Patterson Mill. Aberdeen really crowding the box. 2nd and long.
Ooh, he might get it now.
Oh,
good tackle.
Wow. Another outstanding play. Tariq Moore, defensive tackle, senior. This sure is senior night for that young man.
Well, RJ seemed like he was going to have a good head of steam going there, and you're right. It's a good thing that young man got in there.
Hey, and he's a big kid that can move.
Yes.
I mean, he closed on that much quicker than I anticipated.
So we have a 3rd and 13 here, so this is a really big play for both teams. Be interesting to see if Patterson Mill is content to try to run 2 downs to get 6.5 yards a pop and get the first down, or if they are going to open up the pass game. Fans are getting hooped up here a little bit, excited for this moment. Could be a big play. Nice pass, and he completes it. So that pass was from number 16, Bryson Hunter, and he completed that to Aiden Myers. That was a long pass diagonally, Pat, across the field to get that first down.
Yeah, Harris and Dixon both on the tackle, and you know, one of the things they did there, Ray, that we haven't seen a lot of was motion. You know, they've been pretty stout in keeping that 3 back. Showed a little bit of a different formation where they had 4 receivers, but they had those 2 slots, giving a different look.
Nice little 4 or 5 yard run there for RJ Wilhelm again.
Several defenders on the tackle, but a nice clean up there by Junick.
So this clock is 4 and against Patterson Mill right now, Pat. 4:11 sounds like a lot of time.
Yeah, we're going to have too many men on the field, I believe there, Ray, as Aberdeen was hustling to get a couple guys off.
They apparently said they called timeout in time to avoid the penalty. That's one of those areas where coaches save the players. Many times the players save us coaches, but that's a good timeout there. I mean, you can't take them with you, Pat. So,
use them. You know, in a situation like that, you know, and again, Aberdeen's, you know, 1 or 2 good defensive plays, and we've seen them,
right?
You know, connect a couple solid plays in a row. They're 1 or 2 defensive plays in a row from staying in this game, keeping it close.
Now the scoreboard has 3 timeouts left for each team, and we know that's not the case. There's been at least 4 timeouts called, so I don't know if it's 2 each team, 3 for one, and 1 for the other. But Patterson Mill has 4 minutes and 6 seconds to get 37 yards. 37 yards approximately. So let's see if they can make that happen. But got a 2nd and 6 here. go. Looks like the first down. R.J. Wilhelm again.
Several Aberdeen players on the tackle there, Ray. But I tell you, I thought the ball was going to get stripped for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Defended well by Aberdeen. Unfortunately, they didn't need to get too far.
Right.
There's Tariq Moore again in the middle of it.
So, Pat, when you coached, if you were a head coach, did you call the plays or did you let your offensive coordinator call the plays? Or were you both?
Well, as a coach, I was not a head coach, but
okay.
I was offensive coordinator in a couple situations. And I can tell you, one situation I called the plays, another one the head coach had a lot of input.
Okay. See what the blocking does here. He got around the end.
He got outside.
And he got out of bounds. So that's number 28, folks. So we're going to have to get you that number at halftime because we don't have it on we weren't given an entire roster. We have the starting lineups with the majority of the players.
Holmes and Junick ran him out of bounds.
Right.
He just got outside of the one Aberdeen defender there and looked like he was taking a good angle, but he put it in another gear, I guess, as they say, and just beat him to the outside.
So now we have 3rd and 1 with 2:54 to go. And apparently he didn't get he got out of bounds, but the clock runs for certain rules of out of bounds, whether you're forced out or you stay in. So it looks like he got the first down, and that looked like Jaden Derenberger.
Tripped up by Keslin Harris, and he got up a little gimpy. Hope he's okay. Seems to be walking it off.
So Patterson Mill seems to be sending a lot of players in and out in the subbing. And some teams, that's part of the play calling, right? You send the play in with a sub.
Sure.
And they tell the quarterback.
That's right. Yeah, teams have different approaches, and sometimes it may even be situational, depending on the package.
Oh.
Or the
about half, maybe 6-7 yards on that one for RJ.
You know, on that previous play, Ray, they did bring out that young man, I think, just to be safe, give him a rest.
So we're inside the 15. Nice change of direction. He did a lot there to even get back to the line of scrimmage. So that was Aiden Myers, and Aberdeen was in the backfield pretty quickly on that.
Yeah, Cam Williams, nice job. Nice job defensively, coming up, wrapping them up, bringing them to the ground.
So we have 3rd and 3 at the 11-yard line with 1:20 to go. They're going to have to get to the line of scrimmage a lot quicker if this takes 3 or 4 plays, but let's see what happens here. He's rolling out, passes it, nice catch. Looks like he held on to it.
And he threw that with some pressure in his face.
Yeah, that was Samir Manning on the catch there. Good job.
There's a Cam Williams again. His name's coming to life here. And again, for a team that doesn't throw the ball much and a young quarterback,
they're
took
good
some
at
guts,
it.
right?
Yeah, they're very good at it. They've made a couple nice completions. Looks like an easy touchdown for R.J. Wilhelm. 5-yard touchdown run. And that is his 2nd touchdown of the game.
Pretty much untouched there.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, it really can take a toll when you control the clock offensively. Take a toll on your defense. And
so
nice kick.
Our kicker, let me see if we have number 21's number here. That is Evan Goff. And he's been very accurate so far. He's 3 for 3. And that's not always something you take for granted.
No.
Having a good kicker.
And I'll tell you, he's been very solid, you know, in the backfield, defensive backfield. He's one of their corners, one of their starting corners, and does a real nice job with his foot there.
Nice shot. Look at the coach there talking to his player, giving him a little pep talk there. Teaching in the moment right there.
Another onside kick.
Did they get this one?
They did. And it looks like it was returned by Tristan Slogoski.
So I was actually implying, did Patterson Mill actually finally get one? But no, they're 4 for 4 stopping that onside kick. Yeah, Aberdeen's been successful at that.
I'll tell you what, that offensive line's got some hands.
Yes. Well, again, that's very gutsy because you could have just kicked them back into their 20-yard line and then played defense, but Patterson Mill is aggressive and wants the ball back. So we're doing a run play here.
ISO right up the middle. I'll tell you what, they haven't run up the middle much.
Right.
And
Ace Holmes was hard to bring down there.
It took a little bit of effort to bring them down. And
like 2
Kamari
and 22.
Silver. Yeah, Kamari Silver in on the play.
Well, that shows you can't give up on the play, Pat, because they weren't there to stop that. So he's going to throw the ball.
He's got a man.
A little short. So the clock is stopped with 7.5.
Defensively, a lot of people were back playing it safe.
Yes.
Wasn't much of a rush up front.
We call that sometimes playing center field out there. You got a lot of center fielders out there. Just go out there and bring that ball in, knock it down. So right now, if you're Aberdeen, you're maybe throwing the ball. You can't throw it to the end zone, but you're looking for a penalty here.
Sure.
And now you're the Patterson Mill coach. You're telling your players no penalties. Just, even if they catch the ball, just tackle them where they are, inbounds.
Keep everybody in front of you.
Yes. But you and I as Raven fans, we remember the Mile High Miracle. And
remember it well.
The old you never know what can happen moments are actually there in sports. There's a good shot of the crowd here. And I don't know if you can see there, I'm waving up in the booth. There's a good turnout here tonight.
Yeah, you never know, Ray. Is this when you pull out your gimmick, your trick play?
Just don't want to make a mistake here.
No. Throw it deep enough if you're going to throw it that if it is a turnover, looks like the quarterback had a little bit of choice, and it is intercepted.
Yeah, so let's see if he waits for his blockers. He did, but good shot there. So let's see who had that interception. It was number 2 on Patterson Mill, and that is Jeff Gesner, one of our receivers.
Playing a little free safety, prevent good hands, right?
Yes.
Get your best receiver back there to intercept it.
So I'll do a quick recap here, Pat. We had R.J. Wilhelm on a 6-yard run, and then we had Aiden Myers interception. Then he turns around and gets a 1-yard touchdown run for 14-0 lead. Nice shot at the cheerleaders here. And then we had R.J. Wilhelm on another 5-yard run. Evan Go is 3 for 3 on extra points. And then we ended the half with the Jeff Gesner interception. So before we break here, what are your quick thoughts about the first half?
Well, I think, as I said a few minutes ago, that time of possession is really wearing down the Aberdeen defense. That's hard for those young men to be out there, that many plays, that many reps. So I think it's important for Aberdeen to come out, make some adjustments on offense because, defensively they've done a nice job at times.
Yes.
They've got a battering ram of a running back coming at them. And I think, they make some offensive adjustments in how can we get first downs.
And they also have depth at running back when they need to.
Right.
So we have the band here right now for Aberdeen, and the band director is Caitlin Whitman. So we always appreciate the musicians. As I've said many times in my life, Patrick has drumming skills. I have no musical skills, including singing. So we are at the half here, and we are currently 21-0 Patterson Mill over Aberdeen. We will be back soon for second half action. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the second half action in this high school showcase event on Harvard TV. I'm Ray Ruse, and I'm here with my broadcast partner and cousin, Pat Ruse. And we are 21-0 Patterson Mill. And Pat, as we were discussing at halftime, it's a much more experienced veteran Patterson Mill team, and Aberdeen has a lot of young players trying to make their mark.
Yeah, across the board, Patterson Mill is certainly the more experienced, more seasoned team. Even though they have some young players on the field, they're surrounded by those veterans. And, I give Aberdeen credit, in that they've got young guys that, they're not quitting.
No.
They're learning, they're getting better, they're showing some flashes of some outstanding football at times. They're playing against a extremely good football team. So when you factor that in, they should come out with a little bit of confidence in this second half.
Well, I'll tell you, Patterson Mill has scored 38, 28, 41, 28, 35, 30, and 20 points. They were only really contained by one team, Perryville, and they still pulled out the win 7-6. So that goes back to show you what I was talking about the importance of kicking. They won because they made the extra point and the other team didn't. So their kicker has been very spot on as well. But you're right. The thing I'm probably going to be the most impressed with the Aberdeen defense is they're going up against a really good running game. But you're right. They're not only meeting them at the line of scrimmage sometime, but they're chasing them down from behind. They're taking 15-yard runs that could have been 35-yard runs and holding it to a 15-yard run. And you like to see that hustle as a coach.
Sure, it's about pursuit, right? And as a defensive player and a coach of defensive positions, that pursuit drill, that pursuit mentality, that never get up, take the right angles, and they can move. They have some athletes over there, so I look forward to seeing the future for this team. Off seasons in the weight room, off seasons in other sports. Some exciting things could be in their future.
So we've talked about earlier about the battles in the trenches there. I've been impressed with the defensive line. There's a handful of players in there that are really tough for Aberdeen. It's hard to find that many big, strong, athletic kids to put down there in the trenches. So they have some good skill position. I'm actually feeling like for being on the field as long as they were, the Aberdeen defense has done pretty well. They just need to see if they can get the offense going.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the keys here, right, is get some first downs. Take some time off the clock. Your best defense is keeping your offense on the field. And even better than that, scoring some points. But I think it's a time, that offensive adjustments, were probably made at halftime. What's working, what isn't working, what can we do to stay on the field? What are they giving us? And I'll tell you, Aberdeen has some athletes, so they like to spread the ball out. So, it may be time for a little misdirection. It may be time for kind of catching them off guard, catching the defense off guard.
So I'm going to tell you a little funny story about how when Pat and I went out in the field and were talking to the coaches, our head coach for Patterson Mill, Dave Urich, his father is Pete Urich, is a special teams coach. So Dave said it's the only time he gets to tell his father what to do or yell at him. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing you're a grown man, but are you still afraid if you talk to your father too harshly?
Well, if you remember, Ray, he was confident when he said that, but then 2 minutes later when Pops came out on the field,
he got a little quieter,
yeah,
didn't
that
he?
changed.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So I've
both
had
great men, though.
Yes, I've had the fortune of coaching with my son and my daughter, and it's a good experience to be able to do that kind of thing. Our fathers, they like the armchair quarterback is what we call it, and big fans of their Orioles and Ravens and Colts back in the day. We are a big sports family. Pat and I, my brother Rob, we have some other family members, the female family members are big sports fans also. We grew up going to Colt games, and it was always not enough tickets. So whichever one of us weren't running around down at our grandmother's house were the ones that got to go to the game with our dads and our grandfather. So I don't know how many you got to go to, but
it was a great time, Ray. And I maybe you don't remember this, but the last couple seasons the Colts were in town, I was a younger guy, and I had my own season ticket. And this is going to shock you. Talk about modern day prices. I could buy my season tickets with 2 months worth of my income from delivering newspapers.
Wow.
2 months.
That's awesome.
In fact, my seat was right next to your dad.
Well, Pat was a great football player. I was a soccer player and runner and other things. And I don't know if Pat can even remember this because I was known for all my injuries. We had a family reunion, and Pat and I went down because we heard there was a Sandlot game, and we went down and we played, and I was running the ball back, and somehow I got spun around, and I broke my hand on you. My hand, Pat was so strong that my hand went right into your chest, and I broke my hand. And I got home, and my mother's like, and your mother are like, what did you guys do? Where you been? And I'm holding my hand on the ice pack. They're like, what did you do? I'm like, I broke my hand on Pat, I think. And
I think I got in trouble for that.
You did.
Ray. Thank you very much.
You didn't do anything wrong. So we had a lot of fun memories with sports, and that's what's so great about these young men out here. They're going to remember this for the rest of their lives. Being on, I don't even know, Pat, you're younger than me. How many times did you get to play under the lights?
Quite a bit. You know, most of my high school career, college career, of course, was kind of 50-50. You know, sometimes you played those 1 o'clock games, sometimes you played the evening games. But I tell you, it's a beautiful stadium here. Speaking about playing under the lights, I mean, they have a artificial turf field that is absolutely beautiful, well manicured, and feels good to walk on. So I would imagine it feels good to run on.
Well, this happened a while back that they committed to all turf fields in every high school, and that's a wonderful thing. You're 3 to 5 years younger than me, so the difference being we didn't have many lighted fields, and we only played under the lights if you made the playoffs. So if these young men don't realize that's a blessing, they're taking it for granted. So it looks like we have number 12 for Patterson Mill kicking off. And we try to get some more numbers at halftime, folks.
It's Keaton Sterner.
Yep. So let's see if they're going to do another squib again, or they're going to kick one off. They're squibbing it again.
Oh, they did. And I'll tell you what, a great job. It didn't even go 10 yards.
No.
It looks like another positive halftime adjustment.
Right.
Because at that point, the ball doesn't go 10 yards. The kicking team can't go after it. So instead of waiting for the ball, they were aggressive. They went
that
after
was 31. And we don't have a 31 on
It may have been 34.
Okay.
Maurice Sadler did a nice job. Good hands, protected the ball.
So let's see if they can mount some offense here, because you pointed this out before, Pat. Not only do they need to score, but they need to keep their defense off the field for a while. And now they have more people in the backfield than I've seen on this play. They'll take a direct snap here, and then shotgun. Had some momentum, but he still only got like a yard out.
Stood up by big number 70. We talked about him in the first half. He is stout.
Yeah, that
Stout
was
Carlton.
That was only a 1 yard run by number 5, Ace Holmes. And Ace, I can tell already how quickly he got moving. He has speed. If he can get past the first level, watch out. But I'm a little bit surprised, Pat, that they're not pitching the ball to him wide to take advantage of his speed a little bit more.
Yeah, and you know, defensively, they're clogging it up inside. And when you have a lead block in front of you, it makes it even more difficult sometimes.
So he's going a little bit off tackle there, but got a few more. Looks like he got 2 that time, but it's still going to be 3rd and long. And they had him for a 1-yard loss on the first play. I didn't have it as a loss, but
Luke Plesniak was in on that tackle. Again, big, strong defensive linemen, but they appear to use their hands well, move their feet.
mm-hmm.
And that's what you want, you know. In today's offensive schemes, Ray, your defensive linemen have to be able to move.
So we're going to see who our other quarterback is occasionally, because they have alternated a little bit. Oh, man. Just a little bit high, but I will say if he caught that, both 7 and 22 were right there to probably get the tackle for Patterson Mill.
Yeah, there was pressure there by Nick Gomez-Acero. Nick did a good job timing his jump, too, to make him alter the throw.
So I like the fact that they were looking for that little dink pass. And next time they get the ball, I'll be interested to see if they do that again, because that could have been a 5 or 6 yard pickup. Okay, we got the punt down here. It is fielded this time. That looks like number 11 for Patterson Mill.
Samir Manning.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It was a short to mid-range punt, and the coach probably told him, you know, try to catch the ball, because they've had 3 punts that have like literally bounced and rolled 15 to 20 yards each. So they've given us some field possession. Now, are we going backwards here on a penalty or no? Okay.
Yeah, the ball spotted where it was caught.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, he did a nice job, you know, making a very clear fair catch signal, protecting the ball.
So we got a quick handoff here. That was stacked up pretty quickly, Pat. And that was RJ, but he only looked like he got 1 or 2 out of that at best.
And I'll tell you, Chase Saunders, defensive tackle, really came off his block and did a nice job.
We have a pitch to the
And
side
again,
here.
well covered.
Wow. RJ had nowhere to run those last 2 plays. They were read very well by the whole defense.
Yeah, Tariq Moore in on that. It's almost like they figured something out at halftime, right?
Well, they do like that quick hitter is what I've heard it called, where the running back just gets a short, you know, they're not way back in the backfield. It's a quick handoff, boom. And they seem to be trying to clog that up. So will they go wide on this one? Yeah, they're spreading them out now. You got receivers, 2 receivers out on the left and the right. He is throwing.
Oh.
Oops, got a little bit of body there, but you know what?
Okay.
They might have, he was going for the ball initially. Then he kind of got his hands on his helmet.
Yeah. Peyton Fuhrer did a nice job, not only going up and defending that pass, but again, making it certainly appear like he wanted that ball as well. Probably a good no call.
Yeah, I like it. And I think this is Aberdeen's first time they've stopped them. So we have our Australian punter I've been wanting to see, Pat, number 14, Connor Pilton. I'm going to see if he does a straight-on punt or the style, like even University of Maryland's punter is the Australian style where he runs to his right or his dominant foot side and then hits it. So let's see which he has. Straight-on punt. Pretty good punt there. I would have picked that ball up, but now you let it bounce. So now they know the punter has a foot. I'm going to say that was in the air, that punt was like 40, 45 yards.
I'm thinking 45 yards. Cam Durbin was back there to receive it, and I think he might have been a little bit surprised.
Yes. Yeah, you don't usually see that much power in a high school punter. That's impressive. It almost makes me wonder with that foot, sometimes coaches have what they call specialists on extra points and field goals. You're the guy 30 yards and in, and you're the guy 35 yards and out or 30 yards and out. So let's see if Aberdeen, after they made their first stop, can get a little bit of a momentum shift here. They're really spread on this one. Wow. Number 2 coming across, get the quick pitch. Well, that's what I call stringing out the play there, Pat. They really did a good job. That was Cam Turbin ran across from the wide receiver and got a shovel pass and really got no gain.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, he was looking for opportunities to cut it upfield, but a linebacker, Dietrich Jackson, I think it was, stuck with it, ran him out of bounds.
Yeah. But I do like to see the creativity there. Something different.
Yep.
Something different maybe makes the next play work in a different way. So you got
sometimes, right, you set up plays.
You got a one-on-one out here on the right side. But you do have a safety getting ready to help a little bit. Quarterback rolling out. Oh, nice short pass, nice hit. They're going to call that a defenseless receiver, I think, or leading with the helmet, unless the penalty's in the backfield for a holding. That was
the flag came from the other side of the field.
They're backing up.
It was Samir Manning with the tackle.
That was a pretty aggressive tackle. I'm very impressed the receiver held onto that ball.
Well, again, nice ball, nice protection. You know, because that took a little bit of time to develop, and a couple players seemed to start to open up. And that receiver, that opened up for him as it was closing for a couple others.
Now they seem to be bringing in Adam Shevchuk on defense to explain something. So I'm wondering if this could be offsetting penalties. One on Aberdeen for a hold or something of some type, and then maybe they did call a penalty on that hit. They are calling a definite penalty against Aberdeen, and they're saying it's second down.
It's unfortunate, of course, for Aberdeen because, you know, again, things are starting to move. Things are starting to flow in the right direction for them.
I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see the quarterback roll out. I mean, they had the last series, they barely missed a high pass, and it would have gone for 5 or 6 yards. That one was 5 or 6 yards if you don't have the penalty. They may just have to realize the running game's not going to work for them as much.
Well, they brought up this young quarterback to start for a reason.
Yep. See what he can do. So we got 2nd and 16. You want to get half of this on this play. So he's letting it go. We got the center fielder out there again. I think they're going to call offensive interference or defensive interference. Technically, the defender was going for the ball, Pat, and the receiver never turned around and looked at the ball. So I don't know which way this could go.
Well, and again, when you saw that cartwheel type of action from Samir Manning, it very well could have been caused by that receiver.
Yeah, I think that was offensive interference because that was a very good chance that was almost like a punt return interception there. He was looking at that ball coming from very high, and the receiver was, I don't think deliberately trying to interfere. They were still running their route and just kind of ran over the D-back. So now they're really in a hole here. It could be half the distance to the goal if it was a 15-yard penalty, which would make it like 2nd and 22 or 23. Now you got to watch out for the sack. Nice screen pass. Let's see how well it's set up. Nice job, though.
Yeah, they ran that well. Unfortunately, Samir Manning was aware, saw it coming, and made a nice tackle.
It was a nice controlled pass from Chris Hufty to Ace Holmes. And Ace did a good job the first half of that following the blockers, but then couldn't get it around the last one. It's one of those plays, Pat, where if you get around that one more person, it might be 40 yards.
But that's an impressive play for a young team.
Yeah.
The screen for folks who may be watching this game, screen plays take a lot of timing. It's a lot of coordination, and it's not the easiest ball to throw as a quarterback either. It looks easy because it's so short. You usually have 2-3 defenders in your face while you're throwing it, too.
I've seen many a pro quarterback not time that screen pass. So you are correct. Got an outside pass here. A good pass. And we had number 6, DeRay Arnold, there, but that was a good breakup by the defensive back.
Yeah, Kamari Silver did a nice job there. And I'll tell you, nicely thrown ball. Receiver went up for it, you know, with everything he could, tried to high point it, but well defended.
So let's see what we got here for a punt for Aberdeen. We have number 8 for Aberdeen coming in, and that's Isaac Williams again, going to punt. This is a good punt. Needs a bounce. Took a backward hop. Good job. Number 17 was smart on that, Pat.
Yeah, Prince Battle, very headsy play to grab that ball.
I could have taken another 2 bounces back 10 more yards. So let's see if Aberdeen can get a second stop in a row and give themselves another chance. I know people might be thinking Aberdeen getting many positive yards the last 2 drives, but we both agree we've seen some positive things. If you take out a couple of the penalties, it might be a totally different thing than where they're starting to figure some things out. So they're rolling out and passing. Nice quick pass up to the sideline. So that was our quarterback. And I want to see if that was Aiden on the pass or if it was Bryson.
Isaac Williams, one of the defenders over there.
Samir Manning caught that pass. And we have a little rotation happening here. Sometimes it's Bryson Hunter, sometimes it's Aiden Myers. So let me see who's behind center here, Pat. 16, Bryson's in there. Has some room. Just kind of spun his receiver around there. So they've done 2, I don't know, I think it might be the first time in this game that Patterson Mill's done 2 passes in a row.
Especially down the field like that.
Yes.
You know.
But they also have a lot of confidence with 3rd and 6 that they can get 6 yards in 2 plays, but Aberdeen has been stacking it up a little bit recently, so let's see.
Coverage by Unick, Calvin Unick on that play as well. He was there, it was over his head, he didn't need to get physical.
Give it an outside run, and he's got the first down, and if he keeps breaking tackles, got all the way down on the 23-yard line, maybe the 22. And that was a good run by number 5, Aiden Myers. He's a wide receiver. He's played baseball, and he's self-proclaimed himself as having the best hair on the team, Pat.
Oh, there you go.
As 2 bald guys, I think we're a little bit jealous here.
Yeah.
Aiden, we don't want to hear about that.
DeRay Arnold, Isaac Williams combining to make the stop there.
Okay, so now we have a quickly moving drive here. We got another outside fake and then a run up the middle. So we got RJ back into action here. I like the misdirection they're doing there in terms of having a fake outside handoff and then you do the handoff right up the middle.
Tariq Moore again in on that tackle.
So we're down to 4 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and we haven't had a score yet, but Patterson Mill is on the move here. Outside run by 28, and whoa, he cut back inside. Looks like he got inside the 10, and that is William Green. And we didn't have Williams' number in the first half, but he made some impactful plays in the first half as well.
Daniel Darby did a nice job stopping there, but I'll tell you, offensive lineman pulled out and did an outstanding job leading the play there.
So we got a really wide run here, and they snuffed that. Looked like RJ did not have the lead blocking he wanted on that.
Cam Williams came up to make a nice tackle. Did a nice job avoiding again that pulling lineman.
So it's 2nd and 9. Basically 2nd and goal. It's a good hard run up the middle. Looks like That one was by Jaden Derenberger. So now we got 3rd and 2, 3rd and goal here. Can't tell if we can get. Looks like you're going to probably push in there for that. We'll see.
And again, another long, sustained drive by Patterson Mill.
I want to see if that was 25 or 28 on that run, Pat. And let's see if our kicker here.
I think 25, right?
Okay. That would have been Jaden Derenberger. Our kicker is spot on again. Evan is 4 for 4 here. Kind of like to see what his field goal range is. So we now have a 28-0 game. And as we say, let's see what these teams are made of, that Aberdeen is made of. It's going to get a little bit more discouraging for them. But coaches got to say, hey, we showed some positive signs. Let's get something going offensive here.
Well, and I think this is when you kind of break down your game, if you're Aberdeen, into let's win the next series.
Yes.
Let's win the next series. Let's win one play at a time. And you stick together. This is when team becomes important. This is when you find out the character of your team.
So one thing I was going to say about that, Pat, is some of these little squib onside kicks, if the person feels it, they can break it. Because you have most people right up on the line of scrimmage on the kickoff, and you get past 2 people and you're gone.
That's right. And DeRay Arnold, I could see his eyes open up wide from up here when he got that ball. A little bit of a different approach this time, more of a bloop, let me place it a little further down the field, and maybe he juggles it, we outrun him, get there. But good job, good heads-up play by DeRay.
So we have 3 in the backfield again here. Gives you multiple options here. Sometimes the running backs in the backfield are also there for blocking when they're not running the ball. So we got a little, looks like about a 3 or 4 yard carry here. And that looked like that was, again, Ace Holmes.
Linebacker Dietrich Jackson really felt nice on that play. Stuck with him, got a little help from his teammates.
So we got 2nd and 7 here. As you pointed out, Pat, you got to start stacking some first downs first, and then you got to move on from there. Another positive run by Ace. Now, saw something there that used to be against the rules where the linemen are pulling the pile or pushing the pile.
That's right.
That seems to have changed in all levels of football now.
It's become a play now,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Luke Plesniak was at the bottom of that. And again, big D lineman moving down the line, sticking with it. Good play by Luke.
I'm curious
Some positive
to see
yards, though, for Aberdeen.
Well, that's 2 in a row, and I'm curious to see here if they get stopped from this first down and it's close. I would think the coach is going to say 4 down territory. We want to try to get a score.
Right, and that's a small win.
Yes.
It's an opportunity for a small win.
So he got some momentum, but he got stacked up that time. Probably a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Yeah, James Dargan, Luke Plesniak in there to help with it. He wasn't getting anywhere once James and Luke got a hold of him.
So that changes the dynamic here. If you would have been 4th and 1, 4th and 2, maybe one thing, but let's see if they're, they look like they're bringing their punter back out here.
Yeah, one of the things the coach is probably thinking, Ray, is you know what? Let's still play smart
I was
football.
just thinking that they could do that.
Yes, he did.
I was going to bring out our old Raven punter idea who used to throw, had 100% completions but that was a direct snap to another player.
Calvin
and
Unick.
Let's see
Calvin,
this again
Calvin
here.
Unick.
Yeah, probably. So let's see if that pumps a little life into him. Direct snap right here.
Well blocked.
Yep, number
Well
4.
blocked.
And let's see who number 4 is for Aberdeen, Pat. Is that
That's Unick.
Yeah.
Number 4.
Oh yeah, you know what? We didn't have a number 4 in our original roster. They told us it was a new number for him today. So wow.
So we hope that's you, Calvin, because we've been saying your name quite a bit.
Yep, we can only call what we're told on the roster. So that was a little bit of a high snap, but he adjusted that well, and wow, he pushed the pile a little bit there.
Yeah, very, very nice run, and we had Sebastian Fryer come up from his linebacker position to put him down, but it's a 5-yard game, Ray. Again,
Yep.
one play at a time.
And that's going to be the end of our third quarter here. And, Aberdeen's got to be feeling themselves a little bit right now. They got a little bit of positivity going here, sparked by that fake punt. And they've probably had 4 runs of 4 to 6 yards here in this drive. So they've got to start feeling a little bit of confidence about that, too.
And I'll tell you, Ray, they're obviously well coached. Aberdeen. Both teams are.
Yes.
But I look at Aberdeen here, and the coaches are still coaching.
Yes.
The players are still playing, and they obviously prepared this week because they had special teams plays in place, and there was no hesitation on coach's part.
No.
I mean, that's an outstanding move.
Well, and I agree with you there. So we talked before about the players for Aberdeen not showing quit, but the coaches as well. And one of my pet peeves as a coach, fan, person who's run programs is seeing the coach go sit on the end of the bench and put their head down. We saw a shot earlier in the game where the coach came to the player as they were running off the field, put both hands on both shoulders, and positively talked to the player and said basically, shake that play off, get him the next play, and that's what you need. There's more failure in sports than there is success. You need your coaches to pick you up. Oh, ran into his own player, got him by the leg. It's a bad position there, but
Kamari Silver had him by the legs and held on for his teammates to get there. But again, another chunk play.
Well, I'm glad. It's a shame he ran into his own player. I think that there was no fault on either of them. Thought your blocker was going one way and you go the other way, but you both went the same way. Because if he would have got around that blocker, I would have liked to see where Ace would have gone with that, because he had a head of steam on that one. So now we got 3rd and 2, Pat. And again, I think it's definitely 4-down territory. So let's see.
Well, after that fake punt, Ray, I would agree.
Yeah, they want to get on the board here. Quick handoff.
Stacked up.
Yep.
There's 54 again, coming in low and strong, but I like the way that young man moves. There's no quitting him either.
Yeah, I'd like to see our Ace needs one block to get some territory here, and the defensive line for Patterson Mill has had their moments really successful here too. And that freshman has a future on Patterson Mill. I mean, playing like that as a freshman, I want to be here 3 years from now to see what he's doing. I don't think the seniors are picking on that freshman in the weight room, Pat.
Not at all.
So we got a pass a little low. So if he would have caught that, that would have been a first down. Ball was a little low. So now you got to pick your heads up if you're Aberdeen and say, let's stop them and let's get ourselves another chance here. You got 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
I like the quick hitter. mindset.
He went to first down territory, stopped and turned. So that's something that they will improve on.
This young man at quarterback obviously has a little bit of arm strength because he zipped that ball in there. He's thrown several balls now down the field. Quite a few yards.
Got to work on the timing of a few of these patterns and they'll get there. So RJ's going around the left side, got a lead blocker, number 55. Cleared out some people for him, and then RJ kind of did the rest and ran over a few people there.
Yeah, Daniel Darby came up and got him by the ankles. He might have been, one person away from getting a few more yards.
Thank you to all of our officials out here. We always appreciate them putting in the time that they do. Our athletic trainers are out here, and we always appreciate that. The fact that they're out here, Aaron Waters and Kerry Johnson. I've known Kerry for a long time. It's wonderful that we have trainers out here at every single game. I know I could have used them when I played, Pat.
Ray, I could have used them just going out on the field back and forth today before the game.
I remember back when we played, your teammates pulled you back up and your coach said, rub some dirt in it and play on. If you were hurt bad enough, you had to be taken to the local doctor.
I can remember helmet-to-helmet hits when all my teammates would smack me on the helmet to congratulate me. Just about knocking me out the whole way.
Yeah, you're like, please don't do that right now.
Those days were different.
Yes, they were. Well, safety is definitely a much bigger priority now, and rightfully so. So, got a little hole there to the right side. Got a first down. That was a quick run by number 28, William Green.
Peyton Fuhr came up and assisted on that tackle. But I'll tell you, it took two guys to come up and bring him down.
Now, Pat, is it volunteers that do the yardsticks for us?
Generally speaking, yeah.
Okay. Oh, and another 8-yard, 9-yard run. And again, it's William Green.
Tariq Moore, the senior defensive tackle I mentioned several times, again, covering some ground to get out there and be part of that tackle.
That has to be a little bit demoralizing to a lot of these Patterson Mill opponents, that they can run RJ with his power and speed, and then they can bring in people like William Green, and boom. Looks like we got about 2nd and 3 here. I was a little wrong on the mount there. So another first down, and he broke a tackle. Kept churning there, and did William Green. I mean,
Team Durbin brought him down, and I'll tell you, it could be one of those, we're getting tired. It's the fourth quarter, because a couple guys that were making tackles well hustled and really laid a hit on him, but to his credit, he kept going.
Well, you noted before the game, Pat, that Aberdeen does not have a large roster, so they have multiple players that have to play on both sides of the ball. So it really is hard to keep the stamina going. Nice stutter step move, but really good stack up by Aberdeen. Okay. That was number 3 on Patterson Mill. And that was one of the first carries for number 3. And let me see if I have that number here. That was Landon Shackle.
And Aaron Dixon and a couple of his teammates were in on that tackle. And again, talk about well coached. They're not only making the tackle, they're trying to strip the ball.
Yeah, and one thing that you might be seeing here now is with the 28-0 lead and 7 minutes to go in the game, you might see more substitutions for Patterson Mill. Okay, good handoff. Good job stacking that up again. And that was William Green again on the run.
Freshman Xavier Whittington in on that tackle.
So there does come that time, Pat, where you don't want to ease up too early if you got a 28-0 lead, but you're also thinking, don't want to rub this in with, R.J. Wilhelm, and also you got to give your subs some chances to play. Oh, that was a good wrap up in the backfield there. I think number 51 on defense.
Oh, I just said his name last play, Xavier Whittington.
Yes.
He's really showing that he wants to be a player. He wants to be a part of this team for 3 more years.
Mm-hmm. He was in the backfield. He could have almost taken that handoff. That was like so quickly in the backfield.
Yeah, Ray, this is a time, like you said, from both sides where you want to protect your players, especially if you're going into the playoffs. Your Patterson Mill, you want to protect your players that you grind it, play after play. And you also want to get some of those young guys some real live reps. You don't always get that luxury.
I think that each team might only have 1 or 2 more games. Quarterback fake, good cutback. He could have got tackled for a loss, but he may have got back to his original line of scrimmage.
A great defensive stand.
So are they going
Turnover on downs?
Are they going to punt here, or are they going to try to kick a long field goal?
I believe that was a turnover on downs.
Oh, it was 4th down? Okay. I had told you before I kind of wanted to see the long kicking game, but this game hasn't presented that opportunity. So now Aberdeen has 5 minutes and 45 seconds to get on the board here. We were here last year for Aberdeen Harvard Tech, and there was 28 points scored in like the last 8 minutes of the game. Very unusual in that respect that it was a defensive game most of the game, and then one team scored 3 touchdowns, the other one scored 1 in the last maybe 10 minutes.
That'll keep you busy.
So we have coaches on the field here. Kind of our managers bringing out drinks and so forth. Always appreciate the managers. I'm sure when you were a teacher and a coach, Pat, you found your best students that weren't in a sport that season that you knew were responsible. You said, how about being one of our managers?
So true, Ray. In a school, everybody needs to be involved. Everybody needs to play a part, and there's a role for everyone.
So we have don't know what the delay there was, but one of the teams could have called a timeout. Maybe insert some new players, get some subs into the game. So let's see if we see some new numbers here. Ride, run, one move, shook the player. So Ace got a little bit out of nothing there for a while there. That was a nice play. Showed some elusiveness. Loving that first name, Ace.
Manning was there to help force him out. We always say you got to make that first guy miss, and he did that.
We kind of ran straight at him and set him up a little bit, and just did a little move and went to the outside and got past them enough to get another couple more yards. So we got 2nd and 8 here, 5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 28-0 Patterson Mill. Another handoff. Got a little bit of movement there. He got around the end there. Oh, good job. The Ace is pumped up about that one. Probably his best run of the game there.
That was Bronston Hinson. First time I think we're saying his name, number 6. And I think this is probably a situation where the coaches are starting to get some substitutes in there, get them some game time experience.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, you need to know what those players can do outside of practice. You also don't want to risk injury to some of your starters. As we said, there's only a game or 2 left in the regular season at most, and they're going to be going into the playoffs. Little quick pass there. See if he can get around the outside. He does. Get a little 9-yard run there. And that's number 33 on Aberdeen. Who we got there? Is that another new player? Jordan Williams, tight end / defensive end, another sophomore, getting minutes.
Brought down by Samir Manning, and I'll tell you, that was a bigger tight end, H-back, type of player. Quick flare out of the backfield. Well done. They gave him the first down on that.
So they're exactly at the 50-yard line. They got 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, 50 yards, which means the clock is not on their side. Another delayed handoff, another good move. So he tried to go laterally to get around one more person, probably brought him from a 3-yard run to a half-yard run. But I don't blame him for that, because if he got around that player, he had some sideline.
He also was up against a good senior D-back,
Yes.
Kamari Silver, coming up and coming in low, wrapping up.
Yeah, they really want you to stay away from the knees. So if you're coming in low, they definitely want you to wrap up instead of lunging with your helmet towards the knees. So that was a good, safe tackle there. Drop back for pass. Has the little pass. Nice spin move. Oh, he doesn't think he was down.
Yeah, he doesn't think he was down. That's right.
He's telling the official, he's like, please, sir.
Kamari Silver again sniffed that out.
Well, I'm a former track and field coach, and I'd be definitely recruiting Ace for the track and field team if he doesn't do a spring sport. He's got some wheels on him, and give him a little bit of open field. I would like to see what he can do. He's also shown more elusiveness in the latter part of this game. 3rd and 6. Came to the pass very nicely. Got to the outside. Wait for his blockers, and he might get in.
That was a touchdown-saving tackle.
Yeah, that was number 6, DeRay Arnold on that play.
Looked like Aiden Myers forced him out over there.
I think the only mistake on that play was maybe not waiting for his blockers to keep escorting him in. He got a little excited there and thought he can get around the end. And to that point, great job with some of his fellow receivers to get that far downfield to block for him.
Well, and again, it's a good play design, good play call, and we can certainly see.
Got timeout here, Pat.
I've said it before, but what the coaches for Aberdeen see in this young quarterback. He can sling the ball around.
Yes, he can.
And in time, with the reps, with the coaching, getting in the weight room, he could have a bright future.
So that was a good play there, and I'm gonna make another positive comment about Aberdeen. I mean, obviously Patterson Mill is the stronger, more experienced, skilled team, but only one team, 2, have kept Patterson Mill under 28 points this year. I mean, they've had a juggernaut of a team. I mean, the lowest they've scored was the 7-1 game and the 20 the other game. So that's a little thing to hang your hat on later on for a young Aberdeen team. 'Cause I think this Patterson Mill team could go a couple rounds, if not further, into the playoffs.
Yeah, they're certainly solid.
Shook off one tackle, cut inside, staying on his feet. Wow. That was Ace Holmes, and I want to say there almost looked like there could have been a face mask in there, the way he got spun around by the helmet.
Right. And it didn't slow him down.
No.
It didn't throw him off course.
See, watch his first tackle. Yes, he grabbed him by the left side of the helmet, and he did a little cut back to the inside seam. Could have gone down here and kept his footing.
Good vision, good balance.
So let's see if they go for 2 here or if they have the extra point kicker.
It looks like we're going for 2.
Okay. So this might not be anything to do with their kicking. They might just want to have another offensive snap here. So he's throwing a jump ball, and he's calling him in. And that is number 6 again, and that's Darnell Arnold.
Yeah, DeRay Arnold did a super job, Ray. Both the pass and the high point of the ball in the corner. You can't draw them up any better than that.
So let's watch this. It's basically a jump ball, catch. Yeah, he got the 1 foot in. That's all you need. So I think Pat and I had initially looked at each other like, did he really get in there? But he stomped that left foot down very nicely. And you don't need 2 feet in high school and college. You need 1, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah. What a good
very
play.
Very nice. Very. And again, this is what we're talking about when it comes to wins.
Yes.
Wins within a game. No quit. And I'll tell you, as I look down at the Aberdeen sideline here, you know, there's a lot of celebration. There's a lot of high fives and patting each other on the back.
Yes, definitely. They can bring that momentum into the next game. So let's see if they do an onside kick just to get the ball. They did something illegal there. One person faked kicking the ball, and then the other person kicked it. So they might have put themselves in an offside position from doing that. So they're going to back them up 5 yards, I think. Or did the ball fall off the tee?
It might have luckily done that.
Yes.
For them.
Yeah.
No, they're backing them up.
Okay. So a trick play didn't quite work for them, but I like that they're saying, why not do an onside kick? Let's get the ball back and keep practicing our offense.
Well, again, they obviously are well coached because they practice these things. Situational football.
He did it again. That time they did it properly.
And Ray, they may have gotten it.
If they didn't, it was a really good try.
It was a great effort.
It went the required 10 yards, and number 7 for Aberdeen, Kelson Harris, was almost there to get that ball.
Yeah, number 7, Sebastian Fryer, I believe, recovered it. So they still use the same trickery.
Yes, the timing was better.
And yeah, I'd say, and it worked. And again, coaches have things in place. And, you know, and as a coach and as a staff, that's how you get your team to buy in.
Yes.
When you have a couple gimmick things, when you have a fake punt in that you're willing to use, all those things keep your players invested in the game.
So they're going to take a knee. And if Aberdeen cooperates, they're not going to use their timeouts. That's kind of like one of those gentleman agreement type things. Even if Aberdeen had timeouts, Pattersonville is basically saying, we will take 2 knees, and we will not have to run another offensive play in trying to score.
You know, on a positive note, Ray, many positive notes in this game, but both teams played hard, but they played fair. They played within the rules. They played with class. And so both teams, their families, their coaching staffs, school officials should be proud.
So, Pat, I want to do a little quick recap here before I get some last-minute thoughts of yours on a few players or so that might have really stood out to you. So we started with a touchdown run of 6 yards from R.J. Wilhelm, and then we had an interception by Aiden Myers to stop an Aberdeen drive. Then Aiden Myers scored on a 1-yard run to make it 14-0. And then R.J. Wilhelm had another 5-yard run to make it 20-0. Evan Go hit the 3rd extra point that he had. Jeff Gesner had an interception. Then Jaden Derenberger had a 2-yard run. And again, Evan Gall made another extra point, so he was 4 for 4 to the day. We had an Ace Will Holmes 8-yard TD run late in the game, and a DeRay Arnold 2-yard extra point. 2-point conversion with a great pass from Chris Hufty. So we have a final score here of 28-8. But any players that stood out for you?
Oh, there are quite a few players. Several of these down linemen, go figure that I'm going to say that first. Really this Plesniak came up big for Patterson Mills. I thought some of the young men on the other side of the ball did as well. But offensively, we know the weapon. We know the weapon for Patterson Mills. He's going to keep getting better. He's going to keep getting stronger, and they got to keep him healthy. Both lines, offensive, defense, I thought across the board could move. They were athletic kids. The linebackers flowed from side to side for both teams. So hats off to both teams as far as their movement, their athleticism. I look forward to seeing two things. One, what Patterson Mill can do in the playoffs. I think they have a chance to make a strong push. And I certainly look forward to seeing how Aberdeen finishes off the year.
Yes, definitely.
They've got a young quarterback. They've got a staff coaching staff that's supportive. I think there's good things to come.
Well, it was great having you here, Pat, and thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
And I hope to have you back again in the future if I can. So again, folks, final score here: Patterson Mill 28 and Aberdeen 8. Patterson Mill moves to 8-1. Aberdeen falls to 2-7. It was a great night at the stadium here. Thank you for tuning in to this Sports Showcase event on Hartford TV, and we look forward to having you back for our future events. Take care.